Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rate the Record podcast, episode 136. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am your host, Chris, as always, amongst all these posters here in my studio, doing album reviews with you, hanging out with me and doing them with me, so that way we can share opinions on the albums. That's how this whole thing works. So I appreciate you being here, being part of that, and wanting to do that with me. And just a reminder that if you like what you see and we're here today, there's one way, a bunch of ways, or all the ways I'm about to list that you can do literally right now to help support the show. They're quick, free, and easy, and they are the following: like, subscribe, rate, share, comment, and follow. 6 quick, free, and easy things. As I said, you can do right now, a little later, whenever you decide it, to show your support. It means the world to me. It means that I can keep making these things knowing that you're going to be right there along with me doing all these albums. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. And of course, you can find the different places to do all of those things over at ratetherecord.ca. That is ratetherecord.ca. Streaming links, social media links, the RTR album rating chart. So every album I've done that we've done on the podcast, because it's been more than just me over the few years that this has been going on. Regardless, all the albums are there in chronological order or in the album order of score, by alphabet or anything like that. Whatever you want to order it as, you can do whatever you want. Regardless, it's there. You can check that out. It's really great. And of course, the financial optional way that you can support the show, and that is the RTR Club, and it's only $3 a month. $3 a month will get you early access to episodes, sometimes upwards of 72 hours. You'll get a shout out on social media, and you also get a shout out at the beginning of an episode closest to when you join the RTR Club. You can request an album for me to do here on the show, and I'm also looking to review your music. So if you have a song that you want me to review, by all means, I could do that. I'm going to compile a bunch of them, make it into a video, and then do my best to kind of, get your music out there so everyone can hear it and everything like that. Sounds cool. I hope it does. And if it does, you can check it out over again at ratetherecord.ca. So, episode 136. I kind of made a mistake in scheduling because I took a week off prior to last week when we did Frank Zappa, right? So last week, this episode was supposed to come out because it would have been so much more timely, because this album just celebrated its 20th anniversary on May 3rd. And of course, I am talking about the album With Teeth by 9 Inch Nails. Came out May 3rd, 2005. It is the album that got me into 9 Inch Nails. It was my first true full exposure to the band. So I feel ashamed for having missed the anniversary, I should say, because of that 1 week I took off, screwed up the schedule. But the very least I could do is cover it today. That's what I plan on doing. I have the vinyl. Hold on, I'll get it. This isn't a bit, by the way. I don't constantly forget to do this. I don't forget to do this as a bit. I forget to do this because I have 2 brain cells and one of them is actively doing something else. Hold on, I'll go get it. Look, here it is. I have the actual vinyl here with me, 9 Inch Nails With Teeth. So yeah, I actually just listened to it this past Saturday too. When it turned, was it this Saturday? I think it was Saturday when it turned 20 years old. Listened to it on my turntable from front to back. So I just want to show that I have it. There's nothing on the back, but guess what? In the fold, it's a very long image of Trent Reznor glitching the hell out in his emo phase. Isn't that fantastic? Well, while I place this on the wall behind me, as I usually do when I have a vinyl copy of things to show off, let me tell you a little bit more about this album. With Teeth is the 4th full-length studio album by alternative and industrial rock band 9 Inch Nails. It was released on May 3rd, 2005 through Nothing Records and its parent company Interscope. It was recorded at various locations, including Grandmaster Recording, Sound City, and The Village in Los Angeles, and Nothing Studios in New Orleans. The album was produced by band frontman and multi-instrumentalist Trent Reznor, longtime collaborator Alan Moulder, who has also done work with Depeche Mode, The Jesus and Mary Chain, My Bloody Valentine, The Cure, and more. And finally, it was also produced by longtime collaborator and current 9 Inch Nails member Atticus Ross, who has also worked with Korn, Halsey, Coheed and Cambria, Sal Williams, and more. Reznor performed nearly every single instrument on the album, but had help from Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl for drums and percussion, as well as drummer Jerome Dillon. Overall, the album has garnered mostly positive attention, with it currently sitting at a 71 on Metacritic. It sits generally favorable with many publications, including a score of 4 out of 5 from AllMusic, Blender, The Independent, and Q. Spin magazine placed the album at number 29 on its top 40 albums of 2005 list. It appeared on 24 different charts, with placements as high as number 4 in Austria, number 3 in the UK, number 2 in Canada and the European charts, and number 1 in the US. It was certified platinum in Canada and twice gold, once in the UK and once in the US. The album spawned 3 singles. The Hand That Feeds, which went to number 1 in the UK and the US, and was nominated for Best Hard Rock Performance at the Grammys. Only, which went to number 1 in the UK and US as well. And Every Day Is Exactly the Same, which went to number 1 in Canada and the US, also nominated for Best Hard Rock Performance at the Grammys the following year. So there you go, there's a little bit more about the album, and also, yes, I put it up behind me. I need an actual frame I can put these albums in. It'll be a lot easier. I'm just using pins right now, and there's a lot of holes in the wall, so I just should probably fix that. But anyways, it's behind me, all good. I told you a little bit more about the album. So yeah, I guess before we get into it, I could just say, as I said, this is the album that got me into Nine Inch Nails back in 2005. The girl I was seeing at the time, had gotten a copy of this and All That Could Have Been DVD for her birthday. And I had like very minimal knowledge of Nine Inch Nails at that point, but when I heard this album and then I heard that live DVD, well, history wrote itself, life changed for me, and here I am, just absolutely adoring this band since then. It has not stopped. I was afraid it would slow down, but it hasn't. I'm very happy about that. So with that said, let's see how much I like this album 20 years later with song number 1, All the Love in the World. Pause it there before it goes on to the next song real quick, because it starts very quickly. And gotta clean my hair up a little bit, because I was dancing quite a bit on that last little bit. I really enjoy it. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's song number 1, All the Love in the World. It's quite an interesting start to the album, realistically. It feels kind of unexpected, considering the explosive start to that we got to the first 3 albums, that we had like a Hole from Pretty Hate Machine, Mr. Self-Destruct from Downward Spiral, and then the Fragile gave us Somewhat Damaged. This one's definitely the calmer of them for sure. It does have an exciting pickup, but the energy is nowhere near matched to the other ones. But I'm not comparing it to those. I'm comparing this on its own, so we can keep talking about that. One thing I really want to talk about too is the textural layering of the drum machine. There's so much to it while still remaining very minimal. Tonally, that is, at the very least, which does help a lot to push the song through in a very chill and steady pace. And the instrumentals are very super soft on it. That bass line is super buttery smooth. So just, there's so much to like going into this. And you can kind of feel the building go along as the song is. Because the first verse, very quiet. The second verse, you have like more layers picking up. Trent's getting a little louder. The piano starts kicking in. Just, you can feel the building, so it's nice. There's a bit of anticipation in the song, and you're just wondering where it's going to be going. And then, yeah, that pickup in the second half of the song, again, it felt really unexpected because of what the song had been giving us. Despite that kind of buildup, you didn't know what was coming. But it's a lot of fun. A dancey electronic bit with great energy, a really fun bass line, and then like great vocal harmonies all over the place. So yeah, it's a fantastic start to the album. Not nearly as energetic or exciting as previous albums, but there's nothing wrong with this one at all. I really do enjoy this one. Good start. Let's see where it picks up to with song number 2, You Know What You Are, or You Know What You Are, because there's a question mark at the end. Pause before it gets to the next song. Again, it cuts over pretty quickly there. All good. Song number 2, You Know What You Are. Again, I'm just not sure why the question mark is there, but it's all good. Doesn't really remind. Does the Ministry song have a question mark in it? I digress. That's not even part of the reasoning here. Anyways, Nine Inch Nails with You Know What You Are. Now, here's the explosive start we wanted. So, like, you know, if you've been on the podcast long enough, you know that I've made notes where it's like sometimes the first song doesn't feel like the first song. It's just kind of like one of those things to kind of ease you in, and then the second song is like the real first song. Now, granted, I don't want to take anything away from All the Love in the World, but like this is the starter right here. Like the first track was just like, hi, welcome to the album. This song is just like, now let's fucking go. Like that's exactly what this is trying to portray here and everything like that. And I think he did a fantastic job of it. It's fast for the most part, noisy, intense at pretty much every turn that the song has to offer. That fast-paced drumming by Grohl is just absolutely so amazing. And like the feeling of building in the verses to get to those choruses is absolutely fantastic. And then yeah, those choruses, oh my god, what a fucking payoff. Holy shit. Loud, heavy, bringing it down to that halftime pacing was the best possible idea you could have done. It emphasizes the power of this track. Like you thought the verses were good, but just wait until everything just explodes in that chorus. Holy shit, great stuff. Fantastic payoff all around with that one. And then you get to this bridge too, which is like, it's quiet, but never really lets up that relentless pacing. So the intensity is still there, just withdrawn a little bit, but it kind of like pulls back, lets you breathe. You're still kind of bouncing on it, and you can feel it kind of building and building. Then that one last really big chorus that's even louder than the previous ones. Just like, this song is fantastic. Holy shit. I will tell you now that we're actually into the review. I had mentioned before the album started that the girl I was seeing at the time when this album dropped put on the album, and when this song came on, that's like when the neuron activation happened in my brain. When I was just kind of like, no, wait, sorry, what the fuck was that? Like, what is this song? What is happening? Like, something's happening. I don't know how to explain it. Like, that's what this song did to me, and this led me down the rabbit hole of Nine Inch Nails, and look where I am now. I bet my parents are proud. I don't know why they wouldn't be, but still. It's what a great song. Fantastic stuff. So I'm only assuming it's going to be bigger and better things from here, right? Well, let's find out with song number 3, The Collector. Pause it there as it fades into the next song, which of course is going to be The Hand That Feeds, but that comes then. This is now song number 3, The Collector. I think this is a great follow-up to the previous track. I mean, it's not quite on the energetic level of the previous one, but it still comes down just enough where it feels comfortable and you're still in the mood and you're just still part of everything that's happening. So that's really cool. Sorry, I kind of lost my breath for a minute there. I get so excited talking about this kind of shit. The changing signatures too, I think really keep the song consistently interesting. Not that it couldn't do it on its own, but like there are portions where it's like there's sections of 3/4 and then goes into 4/4. Same with like 4/4 into 6/4, I think it was. Yeah, I just something I never really thought about before. I just always enjoy the song, and then kind of bringing it down more. And also, I got that from the Nine Inch Nails wiki page, by the way, and not Wikipedia. Nine Inch Nails wiki, NIN wiki. They're fantastic for this kind of stuff, like information on the song, kind of like that. So shout out to literally everybody at the NIN Wiki for being absolute heroes. I salute you. Anyways, yeah, I just want to throw that out there real quick. Anyways, back to the song. The song, as I said, could be interesting all on its own, because like those guitars seem like especially crunchy in this song, like as compared to the first two so far. Like they're just very dirty and crunchy sounding, which I honestly think sounds really, really awesome. And I think it's just very fitting to the mood that we're getting. Just this very harsh and chaotic feeling to the track in that regard. And I'm also loving some of the quieter like texture layers as well. The things that I don't really notice beforehand that I'm starting to notice now. And it's something that, on that note, that really complements like headphone listeners like I've been doing for this album. Not only now, but when I wrote my notes and everything like that, but also specifically to the lucky people, including myself, who bought the 2-in-1 CD of this when it came out. Not right when it came out, but I ended up buying it anyways. There was a DVD that included a 5.1 surround sound mix of this album. So shout out to all the lucky ones who actually got that. So here's the funny thing. As I was starting to learn about sound and everything like that, I didn't really know how 5.1 worked. I know the concept of it, but I didn't really know how it worked. So I bought the album realizing I don't have a surround sound system. I can't listen to that. It's not going to work in stereo speakers. That's not the point. Saved up my money and bought a surround sound system just to listen to this album. It's a relic now. I still have it technically. It doesn't work anymore and the cords are broken. But because it's been through a few moves by this point. But oh my god, I saved up. Could I have saved up my money for anything better? Probably. But you know what though? It was an interesting experience to position the speakers in the room, my bedroom perfectly, and then sit directly in the middle and just sit there for the entire 56-minute experience of this album. Anyways, that could be a blanket note for the entire album. I just want to give that like little anecdote. I did that, and the collector has those like a lot of those layers that I'm noticing that you would have noticed in the 5.1 mix for sure. And when you're just listening to this on speakers, you might miss a lot of it, but in headphones, you kind of pick up on those nuances, so it's pretty cool. And yes, young me was appreciative of the 5.1 experience of this album. Man, that's wild that I did that. But anyways, as for the song too, the ending sounds cool too. I really like the ending, but it seems fairly anticlimactic as compared to the rest of the song. So that's the only unfortunate part. But other than that, it's not a bad song at all. Very exciting, very energetic stuff. I like this so far. So now we'll move on to song number 4, the biggest single off this entire album. And chances are you probably know it from like movies and stuff like that too, if you haven't heard it before. The Hand That Feeds. Right there, song number 4, The Hand That Feeds, the big single off the album. So at the point of this song's release, like back in 2005 as a single, I don't think Nine Inch Nails made such a commercially hard dance beat since Closer. It's possible I'm blanking on one or two of them, but I'm not talking about like B-sides or bonus tracks or like, you know, memorabilia for the Nine Inch Nails like diehards in the crowd that might be listening to this. Memorabilia doesn't count. Maybe Starfuckers does, but I don't really equate that on the same level, even though it is quite dancey in itself. But like, I don't know. This just feels like it hasn't been done since Closer, and this one like really went off with it too. And it's fantastic all around. Very catchy, fun track. Quite the infectious pulse in this one all around. It's that fast disco style of drumming, the insanely catchy guitars and basses. It's literally just a good time all over this damn thing. A good explosive ending to this one too. Great building to it all through. I love the bridge, and then like that final bit of instrumental that went right in to that big chorus with like the cool harmonies and just like noisy textural layers everywhere. I really like it. Just the soundscape is completely full at that point. And the song itself, like, to be honest, doesn't really have like tons of variety to it. Like, I know there's like layers to like break down, but as compared to some of the other songs in this album, this one doesn't have as much variety, but it's still very much a catchy, fun, easily accessible track. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. So you got to give credit where credit's due. Excellent stuff. Like, really fantastic. So we'll move on now to song number 5, Love Is Not Enough. There you go. Song number 5, Love Is Not Enough. Love the mix of like electronic and hollow acoustic drums in this one. There's kind of like layering of both of them. It really helps this like fill out the entire song a lot more and keeps the track like pretty well anchored. So it's definitely one of the leaders of the track for sure. I think the only other thing that would come into mind of what could really anchor this track is that growling low bass kind of like a muddy tone to it too. It's not exactly sharp in the headphones, but you know what? It sounds fantastic. And hey, if you've been on the podcast before, you know exactly what's up. What do I call myself when it comes to low, distorted, growling bass tones? What is that? Oh, I think I heard it in the back somewhere. Like I think I heard it. Yeah, I'm a whore. I'm a whore for low, growling, distorted bass. I absolutely adore it. And so right here, no difference at all. Your whore is in the house. Cue Cardi B or something like that. I don't know. Not right now though. We're listening to Nine Inch Nails. It's fine. Listen, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just trying to have fun. I'm having fun listening to an album that I really like. So spoiler alert, it's going to get a high score at the end of this episode. So I'm just having fun as I'm going. It's fine. But yeah, as for this track though, so far definitely the far more menacing track of this album. Again, that bass does like a lot for that. And the guitars are just super messy in this one too, but I mean that in the best possible way. They are just like broken amplifier type of distortion overdrive. And I'm here for it. It fits the mood. It fits the band. It fits the sound. Like there's nothing wrong with it. I love it. So when I say messy, trust me, it's a sexy kind of messy. I enjoy it. Again, just trying to have fun. It's fine. Really simple structuring too with the song. Like, 'cause it's just like the 2 verses and 2 choruses capped with an outro. But I think that the pacing of this song overall really makes you feel like you're getting more out of it than maybe you actually are. But I still think there's like a lot to grab onto with the song. Like the layering's really fun and everything like that. It's only 3 minutes and 41 seconds too. So I mean, like, it's not super long. It's not super short. It's like right there in the average middle. And like, I don't know. It works. That's the best way I can put it without thinking too deeply. It works. And you know what? I'll leave it right there because we should move on to song number 6. Every day is exactly the same. We'll pause it there because it's bleeding into the next song. It's fine. Song number 6. Every day is exactly the same. Fun fact about this song, just in case you didn't know. So The Hand That Feeds and the other single in this album only have music videos. This one had a music video in production, but was scrapped at some point through. And the only thing that ever exists of it now is a single screenshot of a single frame of the video that was posted back on the Nine Inch Nails site in like 2005, 2006 era. But yeah, it's never seen the light of day. It was scrapped a long time ago. And the only thing that exists now, which if you Google it or YouTube it, I guess you'll find it, is like an in-studio, like live version of it is the only thing that counts as the music video at this point. But the actual music video is long forgotten. I would love to know what the concept for it was. I'm pretty sure everyone would, that are Nine Inch Nails fan at the very least, but yeah, just unfortunate that it never saw the light of day. And we wouldn't really see like a Nine Inch Nails music video again. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nine Inch Nails fans, until Came Back Haunted, which was like years later. That was like, what, 7 or 8 years later? Wow. Damn, yeah, it was a long period of time. Oh, sorry. No, Survivalism. Survivalism was definitely a video. Anyways, I'm digressing. I'm just going off my own tangent here. Jesus. Really reminiscing on the days of like old Rate the Record when we just go off on tangents all the time and like bantering back and forth and everything like that. That's just me doing this now, talking to you, I suppose. That's my way of comforting myself, saying that I'm talking to myself. Anyways, let's talk about the song Every Day is Exactly the Same. There is an excellent drum groove in this song. I really, really dig it. It did sound familiar. And as stated once again on the Nine Inch Nails wiki, the NIN wiki, which is fantastic for this kind of background information, it heavily resembles the drum groove of My Hero by Foo Fighters, which is incredibly fitting because once again, we have Dave Grohl on drums on this one. And you know, him and Taylor Hawkins, buddy. So of course he's going to potentially borrow, or maybe he wasn't necessarily thinking about it and just so happened to turn out that way. It's hard to say. I don't know the background of writing the song. But yeah, it definitely resembles My Hero in many different ways. So that's fine. So with this song, one thing that I always find myself attracted to about Nine Inch Nails songs in general are when guitars are used more of a sound texture than like a leading instrument. it's kind of how like the chorus of this song feels, with that constant kind of like wailing, bending note. You get like a couple of notes out of it, but it's like mainly just this one wailing, bending note. I really like that, because then like the bass kind of takes lead on everything. Now, granted, there is a second guitar kind of mirroring the bass, but when you ask me to point out the guitar in the song, the first one I'm going to go to is that one kind of creating the texture in the background for everything else to play off of. It fills out the soundscape really, really well, so I really do enjoy that. I think it's a fantastic idea. Yes, I am one of those people who have tried to incorporate that into my own music. I don't do it nearly as well as Trent Reznor, but who the hell can possibly do something like that, right? I know I'm doing a little bit of a dick-sucking idol worship right now, but he's a fantastic songwriter. You can't really get around it. It's fine. Don't worry about this one. But yeah, I love the vocal layers in this song too, especially towards the end of the track. It's always cool when Trent does that like kind of almost choir-like sound in some of the tracks, and you start noticing that like later albums as well, where he does multiple harmonies and just fills it out, makes it sound like a choir. And he does it a few times on this album, and here's a good example of it. So I really dig it. Great song too. Makes a great single. I can understand why it would be. Just too bad about that video, huh? Anyways, let's move along because I'm rambling a whole lot now. Let's go to the title track, song number 7, With Teeth, or as most fans would refer to this song, With a Teetha. You'll hear why. Hey, do things suddenly look different? Is the lighting different too? That's because while I was editing this, I realized a few things happened with this episode. After With Teeth, the footage kind of cuts out and doesn't come back in until I'm listening to only, so I skipped an entire part of the review. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Anyways, I'm literally just gonna read the notes verbatim off the screen. I'm not gonna pull Spotify up or anything. I'm gonna read my notes for the song. Moody, dark, menacing track. Fantastic stuff. Good lyrical play, speaking on addiction while making it sound like it's just about sex. Some addicts tend to believe that the two are kind of intertwined, so it definitely fits the whole theme. It's a really cool bass line throughout the entire song. It's simple enough, but the note jump makes it feel a little more wild. It's a little more fun in that regard. That bridge is also really pretty and sad. It gets really, really super quiet, and it makes it makes sense given the context of the lyrics. That is more or less your brief window of clarity. And this one, funny enough, feels like it would have been rated home on the fragile, lyrically, tonally, compositionally. I do agree with that point too. I agree with all of them because I wrote the points. I'm sorry that I'm not like, being more engaging about it like I do with some of my other points, but it's 2 days after I recorded this, and this is due out very soon, so I just got to get this done. Anyways, that's my review of With Teeth. Good song, good title track. Really do enjoy it. Very memorable. You know the With a Teetha line now. So now on to song number 8, and that is Only. And we'll pause it there as it merges into the next song. Song number 8, Only. Again, fun fact about this music video in particular, which is a fantastic music video. It's really, really fun looking. It's great to watch. It was directed by David Fincher, and David Fincher and Trent would go on to have a very healthy, strong relationship, not romantically, but work-wise, because then Trent would go on to do soundtracks for multiple David Fincher movies, him and Atticus Ross both. So just thought I'd throw that out there as I tell you about song number 8, Only. So if you remember back to The Hand That Feeds, the note I said about that being like that commercial dance tune that we hadn't gotten since Closer, or at least in a while, at the very least. Well, then he suddenly did it again, and then like super doubled down on it. Doubled down? Doubled down. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Doubled down on it. That just feels weird to say. I don't know. Regardless, don't worry about me. I don't rehearse this at all, and it's right off the cuff. I don't really do any retakes, so you gotta deal with it, right? Anyways, you really doubled down on it, okay? Doubled down. That's it. Doubled down. Holy shit. You're witnessing a crash in real time. Anyways. Yeah, he really doubled down on that idea of making this very commercial dance beat. And it's that weird cross ground of like industrial and like dance punk in a way. And really, I haven't heard him kind of walk into this territory since his recent collaboration with Peter Murphy. When I say recent, it's at the point of recording this particular episode. him and Peter Murphy did a song called Swoon, which I believe I covered on the NMR as well, which is just a really fantastic dark dance punk number. I really, really like it. To this day, it's still on repeat. Fantastic. Don't be surprised that that's like near the top of the list of my favorite NMR songs when it comes to year end, when I do my top of the NMR type thing. Anyways, once again, I digress. But it's just fun, and I like the way it sounds here. It's great. It's definitely a disco type beat, especially mixed with those synths too. Like you're kind of getting the feeling of that as you go along. Although it is darker than what disco usually tends to give you, but it's definitely there. And then you mix it with an absolutely solid bass line. No horror activity this time at all. Sorry, I got a burp coming up. I don't need to do that on camera, but regardless. No horror activity this time. Just a very solid baseline, fantastic stuff. More or less simple, but still just wonderfully creative for this particular song. And then the multiple layers of like sound texture that just like really make this one outstanding overall. And it's interesting to get a nearly woken. God, wow. I'm losing my words in real time here. And like, we still have other songs to go. God damn it. Spoken word track. I'm not getting political here. I meant to say spoken word track. It's interesting to get an almost spoken word track from Trent. I say almost because like there is still a melody to follow, but it still feels very free form in a way. It does help the song stand out for sure. You're going to remember it for its like vocal melody and progression and everything like that. Most fans tend to compare it to songs like Down in It from Pretty Hate Machine, or even Where Is Everybody from The Fragile would be the other one, where they're kind of like spoken word. Down in It was kind of like rapped. Where Is Everybody was kind of rapped, but not quite. I don't know. This one's not really rapped. It's just more of like free form, but still has a melody to it. It's still cool. Makes it stand out. Very interesting. Anyways, let's move on to the song number 9 before I literally lose the English language. Getting smaller, like my vocabulary. Pausing it there before it goes to the next song. I also have to remember to like brush my hair back after every track, because I'm usually dancing at this point. So I just feel my hair all over my forehead. Digression right there. Song number 9, Getting Smaller. And we're getting right back into that guitar-driven rock type of track. Great pacing and a hell of a lot of aggression in this song. Make it super fun. Great pickup. I mean, like, I know Only was energetic, but like this was like a big intense thing that we kind of needed at this point in the album. So I really, really appreciate the placement on the in the album for this particular track. The guitar is so much fun in this one, and not just one guitar, it's like multiple guitars. From the subdued, like slightly overdriven guitar in the verses to the all-out assault of dueling guitar in the choruses, I think is fantastic, because you have one of them that's doing like this descending riff, which I think is excellent. That's the best way I can describe it. And then you have this like second texture guitar that I think does a great job at keeping the tension very high. So there's a lot riding on those guitars emotionally and just sonically, and it's just very, very well constructed and written. I truly do appreciate it. And you know, it's funny because I used to feel disappointed by the ending of this song, like a long time ago when I used to listen to this, or at least like the last minute or so for sure. But the more I've heard it over the years, I think the more that it's well suited. It's solid enough, doesn't really need to go anywhere, like a good enough track all around. Because like after that like little bridge, it does kind of a reprise of the chorus and then just cuts off. And yeah, I used to feel kind of disappointed, like it could have built into something bigger, this, that, or the other thing. But like now where I stand, I think it's really well done. There's not much more you could have done with it. So just the sudden ending, even fine by me. Sudden endings can be iffy with me if you've been watching other podcasts, but this one, it works. I really dig it. So let's see how it works in song number 10, Sunspots. Cool. Song number 10, Sunspots. I love that this one comes down a little more as compared to the last track. It goes to show how well this album can ride its highs and lows. And when I say that, I don't mean low as in like the bad parts of the album or anything. I just mean like mood wise would probably be the best way to describe it. So like you have the high of getting smaller and then you have the low of Sunspots, but like it still works side by side. So I really like the continuity of the album and just like where it's pulling you and taking you and everything like that. And again, I mentioned this kind of during Love Is Not Enough, I believe it was, or The Collector. It might have been The Collector. Noticing like new things or just things I wasn't really paying attention to before with a deep listen to the headphones of this particular track. Like, for example, during the intro and the first verse, you have this like very faint and deep, like atmospheric layer. It's like a humming, just kind of a buzzing going on in there that I don't think I've really noticed before. Maybe young me on my 5.1 surround sound mixed listen of this album probably did. I just don't remember at this point. But hearing in my headphones, I thought that was really neat. It's just it's things like that that have always like been there and that I never realized how much it was truly enhancing the song. So I have much more of a fondness for it now that I'm like experiencing it in that light. And with the rest of the song too, like the first half of the song is fine. I don't think it's anything amazing, but I still enjoy it for what it is, for sure. But from the second chorus onward, I think the song definitely gets kicked up a couple of notches moving forward, and it really pulls me right back in. You got the heavy guitar and bass combo with the scream vocals. I think it just kind of, it does everything for me. I just increases the intensity, increases the emotion, increases just the overall feeling that I'm having for this song. So, you know what? I'm just really appreciative of the second half of the song. Not that it's bad with the first half, but if like that was all it was kind of riding, I think the score might have been a smidge lower, but that second half was like everything it needed to be. So really great, like balance of the two. Glad we kind of got both. It's all good. So with that, we'll move on to song number 11. Oh man, didn't I make a video essay about the song? I sure did, and I sure do love it. So let's see how much I love it with the song called The Line Begins to Blur. Pause before it bleeds into the next song. Song number 11, The Line Begins to Blur. Again, you've been around the channel long enough. You already know I've written a video essay on this song. It's above my head now. I've waited until now to put the card above. Hopefully I have enough card room left. But yes, it's there. Make sure you check that out. Because, I mean, if you really want to hear my love and admiration for the song and you want me to go in depth about how much I really, truly love it, I really recommend checking that out. So just go ahead and do that. So in consideration of that particular video, and assuming that you're going to go check it out if you haven't yet, I'll keep this slightly brief, more or less. This is such a powerful track from front to finish, all the way through. Like, you have the heavy droning bass all the way, that mix of like blown out acoustic, and then like industrial / electronic drum layers. I think that adds so much punch to the entire thing. The choruses bring it down a bit more. They get really atmospheric and beautiful. It's just so rich and full of sound, and it's very pleasing on every single front. Like, it just always has my attention, always has me pulled in. It just feels so encompassing all the way through this entire track. I absolutely adore it. And then like lyrically too, having the song about like, you know, the world around you, or watching the world around you change from what it was or how at least you thought it was or was going to be, and then suddenly like feeling disconnected from it. Like, it's a pretty simple way of just looking at it on that face, but I can tell you right now, and I kind of explain it a little bit more in that video that I wrote, I feel these lyrics on a tremendously personal level. I won't go too much into depth to it now, but I will say this is literally a song I can point to out of the millions and millions and millions of songs that exist in the world at this current day and age. This is the one I can point to and be like, this is the one that's helped me the most in my worst times of my life. The one, you know how like the stereotype goes of like, you hear a song, and it's like, oh, this like, this came out of my own journal. I could have written this, like, this song changed me, man. Like, that is this song for me. It really quite well is like just everything about it. Like I maybe view it a little differently than how it was written, but I still think it equals up in the end of just being able to really attach myself to it, and I really, really appreciate it. I love it, and I don't think that'll ever change. Once I heard this one and I clung on to it, I don't think I've ever let go since. Hence why I wrote the video about it. So again, go check that out. It's all good. But in the meantime, you can stick around here and just watch the rest of the video. We're almost done anyways. But yeah, this is a gorgeous, strong, and emotional track all around. Excellent stuff. Fantastic. I guess you can just take a gander at the list later and just assume, oh, it's going to be pretty goddamn high, isn't it? Yes, it will be rated very highly. But we'll get to that then. This is now song number 12, Beside You in Time. It's fading into the next song, so you know the deal. I'm going to pause it right there. Song number 12, Beside You in Time. Fun fact, this is the name of the live DVD that Nine Inch Nails did for touring on this album. Hold on, I have that too. Just a second. Oh, look, here it is right here. I remember that I had this, so I don't know why I didn't pull it up from my notes. Same reason why I didn't pull out the album, I guess. But yeah, I have the live DVD for this, and I haven't watched this in forever. I should probably get back into it. Got stuff on the inside, a little booklet, a little CD, and everything like that. I've watched this many times. Also worked well in 5.1 surround sound, so I didn't exactly waste my money for that surround sound system. All good. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But yes, it's the name of the live DVD, Beside You in Time. Fantastic stuff. Halo 22. Anyways, about this song, though. What an absolute dreamscape of a song. Like, seriously, the quick thumping drum, I think, is just as hypnotizing as like the droning guitars and synth that kind of like live on a pulse of its own, especially as the song continues and everything like that. So just, there's so much to take in where you just close your eyes and kind of experience it all. I don't know, it feels like some sort of dream therapy. And aside from like the heavy kick in of guitars like a little later in the track, as I said, like it's so easy to just like close your eyes and kind of get lost in the haze of it. It's a bit of a noisy soundscape, but I mean, a very alluring one all the same. At least I feel that way about it. I think it's beautiful. And then that burst near the end is bound to catch anybody off guard, like absolutely anybody. But it does a good job of like anchoring you back into reality. So like you can still be in the haze or spaciness of the track, but then just be like hyper spacing through it at that point. I think that's really, really cool. Still really good with its thick atmosphere moving through. And this, like, by and large, is the most experimental song on the album. And I believe the Nin Wiki said that this was like the first song done for this album. So that means that this was the first official song Trent wrote for this album, being sober, like coming out of like his like drug and alcohol addiction, everything like that. So this was the first one he wrote, and he got super experimental with it. So you know what? I dig it. And I dig him hitting sobriety too. Congratulations. And as far as I'm concerned, he's been sober for 20 years now, 20 plus years at the very least. So good job. Yeah, fantastic. I truly appreciate that. So let's wrap things up with the final song, song number 13, Right Where It Belongs. Fades out for a while there, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit the pause button. Song number 13, Right Where It Belongs. What an absolutely beautiful and melancholic ending to the album. I mean, the atmosphere of it makes it feel so vast, but then like the intimacy of having like Trent's kind of frail vocals and then matching that with the piano and synth really just makes it feel so much more personable. So having this whole world of atmosphere, but then you're just kind of like bringing it down to its core center, which is like these three things that you're hearing outside of just like the ambience and the noise and everything like that. And also lyrically, it pairs very well with the previous song as well. So it feels kind of good to actually like double down on this theme as we're closing out this entire project. So I really do appreciate that. Makes everything feel kind of whole in the end. And so when I first heard this song a long time ago, when you get to the second chorus, you hear like an audience, a crowd cheering. I used to think that was kind of cheesy, and I never knew why that was a thing. But I guess as I've grown up and understood over time, I realize why he's doing it. And it's more or less a good reflection on Trent's own personal like thoughts and disillusionment with his entire career, and especially when you match it with the lyrics trying to tell you, it works really well. So I get why he's doing it. I like it. I think it's kind of neat. It's just one more element of like the expansive storytelling that this album can do just through sound design alone that I really, really, truly do appreciate. I believe I made that point earlier in the album as well, or something along the lines of that at the very least. But right here, I think it's done fantastic. And also, can I just mention too, is when Trent sings the lines, you keep looking, but you can't find the woods while you're hiding in the trees. I think it's delivered so perfectly, and I get chills every time I hear it type deal. Because I mean, it's very frail. It's very practically like just raw emotional presentation. It's just done so well. It's just very smart to kind of make it that much more quiet and intimate. So it's very, very much impactful and effective. And this song is fantastic all around. And with that, we have reached the end, as I put my headphones away, of this album review for Nine Inch Nails with Teeth. So I appreciate you being here all the way at the end of the album with me, and I'm pretty sure you have opinions on it, but there are other things that we have to do first. But before I do that, I'll just say a little thing about this album. Again, pretty sure I said this earlier, but I first discovered this album in 2005. The person I was with at the time got it as a birthday gift. That, in the end, all that could have been DVD. And it was life-changing at that point. And 20 years later, I think this album has still really kind of stood up. Especially compared to other Nine Inch Nails albums. I know this one has caught a lot of flack in the past for just feeling kind of different from the previous albums. I mean, I guess you can more closely compare this one to The Fragile, but even then it seems like worlds apart. This one caught a lot of flack because it was Trent's first sober album, and just a very different kind of tonally in certain ways. But to be quite honest, maybe it's because my own bias of how I came into Nine Inch Nails. I think this one stands really, really well on its own. It's a very good milestone moment for Trent, especially in his life, so it just works for me. I really like this one. So with that said, I guess we can say ta-ta to Spotify. Ta-ta. Because now the numbers are here. That's the next part of the podcast that we have to do. It's time to rank the songs least favorite to favorite, not so great to great, least preferred to preferred. However you want to cut that cake, go ahead and do it. Well, good news, I've already cut my cake, and I'm going to give out the slices. By all means, I'll give you one, but make sure you cut your cake too. We got to share cakes here. And by cakes, I mean opinions on these songs, and including the song rankings themselves. So I have 13 through 1 here next to me. Why don't we actually get this started? 13, Only. 12, With Teeth. 11, Every Day is Exactly the Same. 10, All the Love in the World. 9, The Collector. 8, Sunspots. 7, The Hand That Feeds. 6, Beside You in Time. 5, Getting Smaller. 4, Love Is Not Enough. 3, Right Where It Belongs. 2, this one's a little blasphemous for me. The Line Begins to Blur. And number 1, You Know What You Are. So here's the thing. Those top 3 songs, obviously, as you can see in the list here, if you're watching the video version, 10s. They're all 10s. They're all wonderful, perfect, fantastic songs. And the fact that The Line Begins to Blur is number 2 on my list. I've written a video essay about how much I love it. It means the world to me personally. Everything about it is just wonderful, perfect in my ears. But the only reason why You Know What You Are came at number 1 is just because it's that much more exciting. It's one that like I can always be in the mood for. I'll get in the mood for it when I hear it. It's adrenaline pumping, super exciting, just a vicious track, a great start to an album. Technically a start to an album. So that's why I gave it number 1 over The Line Begins to Blur, despite the fact of how personally to my heart I hold that song. But they're all 10s, it's fine. It was just choosing the order of them. All good. That's all fine. So the number's already gone. Probably while I was talking, I made a dissolve or something like that. But then this showed up. The words. Rate the record. That's what we have to do now. That part of the podcast. The title track of the podcast itself. What did I think about this album? Well, I'm pretty sure just by listening to me rank those songs and tell you all about them, you know how much I love this album, but where exactly did it end up? So here's the crazy part. I didn't know it was going to get this high, but it sure did. And so close to the top spot on the podcast as of this episode. I gave it an A+ rating, 88.84%. And just in case you haven't looked at the album rating chart lately, which you can very much do right now, ratetherecord.ca, it's there, you can go check it out. As of this recording, Spotlights with the Alchemy for the Dead is 88.88. It was that close to being beaten, but not only that, the part that Nine Inch Nails fans are probably going to get down my throat for, and not in the hot way. Where the hell did that come from? Anyways, it beat the Downward Spiral just barely, less than half a percentage point, realistically. So this actually came a little higher than the Downward Spiral, which I know many Nine Inch Nails fans would disagree with. No, that's the perfect album. And listen, I love that album too. But again, maybe it's just my own bias, but something about With Teeth just does it for me a little more. As much as I love the Downward Spiral though, fantastic album, masterpiece of an album. But I really like this one too. And this is just a subjective podcast anyways, right? So who cares? It's just my opinion. But that's the best part. You can let me know your opinions too. But first I will say thank you very much for joining me at the very least and making it all the way to the end and getting through that controversial opinion. But the best part is I want to know your opinions too. What do you think about this album? Do you agree or disagree with me? That one's going to be interesting. How would you rank the songs? How would you rate the record? How do you like Nine Inch Nails' discography and what would you put where? All this and more I want to know down in the comments below wherever you're listening because there's comment sections everywhere. Please let me know. I'm super curious to hear that because I know that was a bit of a hot take, what I said about With Teeth scoring just slightly above the Downward Spiral, so please let me know. You can find all the places to let me know as well over on ratetherecord.ca. I already mentioned ratetherecord.ca, streaming links, social media links, the album rating chart, as I just mentioned, and you're going to see those top 3 now, and it's going to look a little controversial. And of course, the RTR Club, as mentioned earlier, financially support the show. That's great. Thank you very much. And everything should be off the screen now. I think I'm all done here. That's all I got for you. Now, at this point, I'm just rambling. So one more time, thank you very much for joining me. Until I see you again, go listen to even more awesome music. Take care, friends.